What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Two Nerds One podcast show. It's been a minute. I'm not gonna lie, Optical, he's been on vacation in Thailand. He's back now. So we're back as well. Cheers to that. He has some funny stories to tell. Hopefully he'll get to tell some of them. If you follow him on Twitter, you might have already seen them. So we have a lot in store. But obviously, we want to talk about news. That's our job. So
That's our job.
let's talk about some. All right. So I'm gonna just jump into it. News dropped today, and I wasn't expecting this. I woke up to this though. Rooster Teeth, they shut down after 21 years of operation. So dude, when I say I'm saddened by it, it was like I knew it was gonna happen someday probably, but like it was still unexpected, and I've grown up watching them. Like I used to watch the Let's Play channel with like Gavin and Michael and all them back when everyone was there. And like their OG Minecraft Let's Plays and all that shit. I used to watch all that. And then also like Red vs. Blue. So seeing them now like shut down, honestly, extremely saddening. But I mean, dude, fucking 21 years is a really good run for an internet-based anything.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
But what are
it's like
I mean, I don't know. It's just what are your thoughts on it?
it is sad, I think because I think Rooster Teeth, I would argue, was a big part of the internet growing up. People knew it for Red versus Blue, which was obviously that was a big
other shows.
Yeah, like they had that too as well. But I think, and how prominent they were, especially within like Machinima as well. They were quite prominent within like the Machinima project. So it is definitely a big name to obviously lose in this year. But hopefully, that people working there, they're able to find somewhere that's still
something else.
Yeah, I really hope that for them because they contributed a big part to the internet, and I just think it only seems fair that they kind of get the help that they can get from that.
Yeah,
it is a big shame.
Yeah, I 100% agree. It looks like I'm looking at the article, and it looks like they're still trying. Like Warner Bros. Is still trying to sell the rights to some of their things. So like their show Ruby, which is like I want to say their biggest show. They're trying to sell that. It's RWBY, but it's pronounced Ruby. It's like a 3D anime. They're trying to sell that. Red vs. Blue, Genlock, which is Michael B. Jordan's animated show. And obviously the Rooster podcast network, which I might be wrong, but I want to say that network. So according to the article, it's the shows spanning gaming, true crime, fandom, comedy, and food. But I want to say that might include things like Let's Play, Dog Bark, their main shows. I could be wrong on that. It just seems like that might be the case, just based off of that. And I'd say that generally describes those shows. Apparently, that will still continue to operate for the time being, but it does look like that's only for a brief period of time while everything gets settled and hopefully sold off. But yeah. I also found it really interesting when I was reading this article. Rooster Teeth has not been making money for over a decade. It's actually been in the negative. Which is like shocking that it ran for so long. But I guess that makes sense when you have companies like AT&T backing you back in the day, like in 2014, and then Warner Bros backing you in like from 19 I want to say to 2024. So I guess that makes sense. But that actually really did surprise me because I at least thought they were profitable for some of those years, especially when they were producing those big shows, like Red vs. Blue, or I mean, obviously all their channels they had with Let's Play, Achievement Hunter. Now they have Dog Bark, which is another thing. Fuckface, a bunch of those podcasts and shows. I would think that they would be generating some income, or otherwise you wouldn't keep making new shows, but I guess not. What do I know, right? But yeah, that actually was the main thing that really surprised me out of that. Like, it was clear Rooster Teeth was dying out. Just based off viewership numbers and everything. But like, also sorry if you hear my dogs bark on the video. My dogs are angry that the pool guy's here, so my apologies.
Damn, you got a pool guy? Oh, all
Yeah, we
right.
have a
Damn,
pool guy.
rich as hell.
So my apologies if you guys hear that on camera. But I mean, it just is like, it's just a bummer. We're losing such a big part of the internet's history. I would say, like, Rooster Teeth existed before YouTube. They were like the biggest video upload area before YouTube, and like them and Newgrounds. So kind of seeing, like, you know, they were a juggernaut of their age. So it does kind of suck to just see them, like, you know, poof,
Yeah,
out of existence.
yeah, it's rough. And like, and so we're on the topic of like Warner Brothers as well. There's something I do want to talk about with them because it's been peeving me off for a while.
Yeah.
Obviously you're aware that they do a lot of their tax write-offs.
Yeah.
Recently, like with Batgirl and things like that, right?
Yeah. And the Wile E.
so
Coyote show, a movie or
and
whatever. Yeah.
so this is what I'm because right. I guess what I got to get is obviously, you know, I'm glad that Warner Brothers is trying to find a home for Rooster Teeth by what it sounds like.
Yeah.
You know, they're trying. Why can't they do the same for those movies like Coyote versus Acme? You know, why can't they? Because apparently, like they've been basically saying no to every single deal being made for that project, and I'm like, why? Like that, this is a film that can make you a lot of money. There's a lot of vocal fans that are out here, you know, screaming to you. This is a good project. I mean, last week the script got leaked for the film.
Yeah.
That like someone literally like dumped the script on Pastebin for God's sake, and literally everyone was like, "Why is this not being
made
shown?"
Yeah.
Like it's been no, but the thing is, the
No,
film's been made.
I mean, like put out. That's what I mean by
yeah,
made.
like so they done test screenings to all these different studios,
and
that were
it did really well. I remember those.
Yeah, and they said no to every single deal being offered.
Yeah, I don't get it.
The CEO, the freaking CEO of Warner Brothers, David Zaslav, I think that's how you pronounce his name.
Oh, David Zaslav
he's like,
or whatever.
Yeah. He's like, oh, well, we're Warner Brothers. We love to tell stories. Tell that one.
Yeah, I actually tell stories if you like telling stories.
Yeah. So far, the stories you've told have all been box office failures and tax write-offs.
Yeah.
Why don't you make a story about your tax write-offs then?
Yeah. Make it about that. Come on now. Yeah, what are we doing?
Yeah, tell a story about your tax write-offs, maybe. How about that?
Yeah, I mean,
like, I would not be surprised if this has like serious legal repercussions for them because I
the
remember
taxing
was, like,
and everything. Yeah, I know the courts were looking into it.
Yeah, like literally everyone in like there's a few people in Congress that are like being like, well, let's investigate. I'm like, go for it. I want to see how this operation is okay. Like, how is this not illegal? What they're doing?
It feels highly illegal. It makes no sense. They're just allowed to do that. They're just basically using a loophole to do so, which is bullshit. I do want to read.
Makes sense.
What's it called? The message from Jordan Levin, who I want to say is one of the owners of Rooster Teeth or whatever, or like not owners, but like, you know, one of the heads at Rooster Teeth. I do want to actually read his letter to what seems to be the employees. So I'm going to do just that. So this so he sent this out obviously today, March 6th, to staff. Yeah, so to staff about the company shutdown. Dear Rooster Teeth, since our founders created and uploaded their first video on the then called World Wide Web in 2003, Rooster Teeth has been a source of creativity, laughter, and lasting innovation in the wildly volatile media industry. We've read the headlines about industry-wide layoffs and closures, and you've heard me give my perspective and updates on the rapidly changing state of media and entertainment during each of our monthly all-hands meetings. Since inheriting ownership, and the control of Rooster Teeth from AT&T following its acquisition of Time Warner Bros. Discovery continued its investment in our company, content, and community. Now, however, it's with a heavy heart that I announce Rooster Teeth is shutting down due to challenges facing digital media resulting from fundamental shifts in consumer behavior and monetization across platforms, advertising, and patronage. Please note that the Roost team is not currently impacted by this action. The Roost Podcast Network will continue operating and fulfilling its obligations while Warner Bros. Discovery evaluates outside interest in acquiring this growing asset. In the coming days and weeks, we will have many questions to answer and the opportunity to work together to implement the best way to wind things down for us and our community. We're working through what comes next in real time, and we will be as open, direct, and as accessible as possible. Thank you all in advance for your patience and support of one another. Let's take a moment to celebrate our 21-year contribution to the zeitgeist, advancing creativity, and outlasting many of our peers from the early days of online video and digital-first content. And then there's a lot more to it, but it's honestly just them being like, oh, this was what we were. But that's kind of just like, apparently the final season of Red vs. Blue coincides with this closure, actually, pretty oddly enough. So the thing that made them big is also going out at the same time as them, it appears, according to the final note on it. So, and then he ends it with, yeah, and then he ends it with respect, gratitude, and sincere appreciation, Jordan Levin. So, how much did this movie cost?
Oh, it made far less than what it costed to make. It made like 80 million on a budget of 150, I think.
Oh no, the budget was 80, but with marketing it's probably about 160 because typically what you do is you double the budget.
Yeah.
Oh my god, no! What
and like
box office?
Like,
oh yeah, it did not pull the money in that needed to
it did not.
even. It's at least 70 million under.
But I think, didn't Dakota Johnson originally say that she'd do a sequel like a few weeks after being like, oh, maybe I'll do it, but and then
now she's like never again.
Actually, yeah, she's like actually.
On second thought, never again.
I don't know how the talent agency gave this to go ahead for like these actresses.
I don't know, but then they all like fire their agents. I remember
they all left. They all left their agents,
which is fucking great. That was a great sign that this movie was gonna be peak terrible. But yeah, I fucking love that so much. Okay, you know what? Let's lead that off into another thing about Marvel.
Yeah.
Deadpool 3. The actor for Juggernaut, from like all the X-Men movies, Vinnie Jones, said he is not planning on return. Well, not planning. He is not returning for Deadpool 3 after he had declined the role. I want to say here. Let me pull up the exact quote here because I don't want to butcher it.
Yeah, of course.
But he has said, I spoke to the director and I just said it's such a drama putting that suit on. So maybe you just didn't want to have to deal with that aspect. But yeah, so he's not returning. That does suck. I actually don't know what they would have done with him in that character / role. Because I normally you just use him for the "I'm the Juggernaut, bitch" line, and then he moves on. Kinda. Yep. So I imagine that would have been his role again. He's just like, I don't want to have to go through all the fucking work. I'm like, whether it's the VFX suit or they make a practical suit, he's like, I don't want to deal with that shit. And that's my mentality as to what he meant with that. Where he's just like, I'm not returning to do one line. That's not happening. But yeah, so that was just some interesting stuff that I wanted to mention. And lastly, I think this is our final movie. Oh no, we have 2 to 3 more movies. News to talk about. We'll talk about movies first, and then we'll move into the more gaming related stuff.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Just because I think it's the best. The Megamind sequel fucking sucks. It's so
the insult is that this was done by the same team that done the first film.
No, you're fucking with me. Are you serious?
I'm not joking. The same writers who done the first Megamind film done this, and I'm like, absurd. Bro, how could you? I'm like, how could you forget your own movie?
Yeah, I know. Will Ferrell said that he wasn't able to return because of scheduling conflicts.
Bro dodged a bullet.
Bro, yeah, I was gonna say, buddy dodged a bullet. I didn't know that was the same writing team. That's fucking terrible. How is that even possible?
And that's what I thought. I'm like, you made a great script for the first one. How in the hell did you write this?
You play your cards so wrong. Yeah, that is. Wow. Okay, I actually didn't know that. Yeah, it's really bad though.
Oh, so bad.
So
it's so bad.
That's not a surprise to anybody. It looked terrible, but even the visuals are so much worse. Which makes no sense given that it's been, when did the first one come out?
Literally nearly 12, 14 years ago.
2011. So 13 years ago, and the new one looks worse. How is that possible? I don't know. That feels fucking absurd. But yeah, that actually
It's
bothered
so
me.
bad.
That actually bothered me quite a bit.
It felt like Coco Melon made this.
Yeah, no, it's
There's
fucking
nothing else
terrible.
to say. Like the film poster's terrible. The villains look like Fortnite characters. I'm just gonna say it. Every single villain looks like a Fortnite character. like,
I really
like,
hope they heard my flip flops hitting the ground on my
like,
mic.
I generally, right? If you told me that what the Legion do, I mean, did you see the post credit scene? It's like, oh, I taught him how to be evil. I'm like, no, you did not. The prisoners did when Megamind
Yeah,
was a baby.
yeah,
Like, it's a brain. We've apparently the brain's a villain now. But like, if you told me that those characters in the Legion of Doom were Fortnite characters, I would believe you.
yeah,
I would believe or like some knockoff Fortnite game.
yeah. They look like some knockoff.
Like like I just sat there. I was like, just that should have just stayed there in the like that should have been a tax write off. I know that's not the same people have done it, but that should
That
have been
should
a
have been
tax
the
write
tax
off.
write-off that everyone
Like,
heard about.
yeah, I was just like,
It's so
no,
bad, man. It's really bad.
I just
It's
I
just
and it's like, with all due respect to the voice actors, like the voice actor, he sounds nothing like the original Megamind as
yeah,
well. Like,
yeah,
I was expecting that kind of thing from Netflix more than anything.
yeah. It's just a fucking disappointment of a movie, and in general, it was bad. It
It
was
just
all
sucks that we've
bad.
waited that long for that.
It
Like, we
was.
waited that long.
They could have just let you know. In my headcanon, I'm gonna treat it like how I treat Pacific Rim 2. It's not real. It's a fan
It's a fever
spin-off.
dream.
Yeah, it's a fever dream. It's like a it's like a fan fiction. Like this never actually happened. This isn't canon. In my headcanon,
Mm.
only the first movie ever happened.
Yeah, I'll take that headcanon as well. I mean, you got the Button of Doom. That's the true sequel.
Yeah, exactly.
That's,
So that shit is bad. I'm not happy
yeah.
about that movie being so shit.
Do
But
you know what kind of
alas,
like
I'm never
the
gonna
meme
watch it
describes
again.
it? The meme describes. You know that our expectations were
We're
low but
low.
holy.
Yeah, but holy fuck,
Yeah.
yeah. Our expectations for you were low, but holy fuck. That is about where I'm feeling with that shit. Um, but yeah, I mean that movie is just bad, dude. I don't have anything else to say. It's just a bad movie. It's just a nothing burger, and it's just a disappointment. So, alas, that movie sucks. Um, Also, off topic. Well, not off topic. Along the same topic, it's movies. New Final Destination movie.
Yeah.
Finally started production. I remember this movie was meant to come out like a year ago, and now they're just starting production. So that's
Yeah.
good.
It's got obviously Hollywood strikes.
Yeah,
Obviously halted that a lot.
yeah. So the
I'm
name,
excited for it.
yeah, I am as well. I actually really like. I know, like the middle Final Destination movies were kind of shit. Um, but like the first two were fun, and I want to say the last one was pretty decent, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
Um,
the last one was decent.
Yeah, so I'm actually really looking forward to it. It's called Final Destination Bloodlines, which makes me think it might be following um like family from the original or like something
So,
like that.
so you're kind. It follows a family. So basically, the screenplay was penned, I believe, or not, but by John Watts.
Oh, okay. Oh, isn't that the guy that made fucking
So
Spider-Man?
yeah, who done the Spider-Man,
Yeah, yeah.
like
The
Homecoming
Homecoming and all
movie,
that,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, so he's done this now. But what makes him so I'll tell you like obviously about what the plot is first. But basically, so it's about this family who like the ancestors, like the great grandmother. Obviously, she was supposed to die, avoided death, and obviously death in Final Destination it always tries to chase you down, right?
Yeah,
So
oh, and now
basically,
it's going after them.
death is coming. Yes, the death is coming under this over like after the descendants because basically death is basically saying that these weren't ever supposed to exist. So it's going after one by one, which I think is a smart twist on like the original
Yeah, and I
like
remember
formula.
I
I
remember
think that's
I
great.
think that's really good, and I remember in the original movies, they always had a thing where like, oh, maybe if you bring in new life, death won't come for you
Yeah,
or whatever. Which it
yeah.
might
So
not have. It makes it sound like it didn't kill the grandmother or whatever the fuck. But it's
Yeah.
now going after the descendants because they weren't meant to exist. So maybe it actually does work like that, where it's like it won't come for you, but it will go after your descendants, and that just wasn't ever known. And I think that's actually
Which
really
I think
interesting.
that's like a smart. But what makes it all funny is how the directors got the job.
Yeah.
So they got the job because they actually pre-recorded an accident for like the interview. So like basically the directors got into the call like studio executives, right? And they'd done it, and then they had pre-recorded this thing where it happened on call where the light bulb exploded and killed the directors.
Oh my god.
It's like light bulb exploded and it exploded and then like it knocked things over and killed the directors, and they pre-filmed that and then they showed it to the studio executives, but they didn't realize until after. So they thought the directors were killed off, and then that's how they got the job. That's
like,
how they got.
You're really good. You get it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's actually awesome.
I think that's such a clever way to like say that. Here's how I'm worthy getting the job.
Yeah, just be like I died.
Yeah, it's like how did I get the job? Well, I died.
Yeah. That's actually really good. I didn't know that. That's actually really interesting.
And I think it's going to release with like the films. When did the original Final Destination come out?
I want to say like 2006, maybe. No, somewhere around there though.
Final Destination. Right, let's have a look here. So the first one, came out in 2000. So basically,
oh shit,
yeah, I know, it's mad. I'm just surprised you are there. I didn't even exist in 2000, but there you are.
I didn't either.
But like, so basically, they said that they're gonna drop this film the same like day that the first Final Destination film came out.
Oh, that's cool.
So they're dropping it on the 25th anniversary next year.
That's cool. That'll be fun.
And I think that's a fun thing to do, you know, to celebrate
25th
an anniversary of a theatrical release of a new movie.
That's crazy. I am looking forward to that. I'm probably gonna watch that day one in theaters just because it's been forever since the Final Destination movies come out, and I trust John Watts to at least make a decent movie.
Yeah, so like he's not directing it, but like he helped with like the script treatment, basically like the script outline.
Oh, I trust that then. Yeah, I still trust that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that movie. And then the final, well, I guess we have two final things regarding movies or shows. We'll talk about the big one that surprised us the most. The Avatar Last Airbender, the live action version. 2 more seasons. 2 more fucking seasons. For a show that had very mixed reviews. That actually surprised me. I was not expecting that. Normally what I would have expected is they would renew one more season and then go from there. And then like if that season did really well, they'd renew it again. But no, they just said, fuck it, we did so well on this first season, we're just making 2 more. Which, I mean, mad respect to them. If it makes them money, I get it. But at the same time, I didn't think it was that good to the point where you would get a guaranteed 3 seasons.
Yeah, that like I remember when I saw that, I was like, I guess Netflix just saw the success, was like, or like I mean, in my head canon, I still think people watched Avatar: Last Airbender, which is why it's done so well. Like I could be wrong, but I don't know. It just feels weird, but I'm happy for the cast regardless. I think I'm happy for the cast that they're getting shots, and and not even that, but like I think it can be looked at from the perspective of maybe that they can fix some some of the issues. It gives them a chance to like at least try and fix that up, maybe.
Yeah.
So like I don't know, maybe there might be that second season it comes in a bit more stronger, fixes some of the writing flaws, and gives people reason to actually not hate watch it. And some people didn't hate watch it, right? But I still think the large majority.
Yeah.
But I think like the loud majority of it done it because they saw how many changes being made and they just wanted to watch like a compare almost.
Yeah. On the bright side, the show was a lot better than the movie, which was something that we weren't expecting. I remember you and I were like, this might be just as bad. So massive credit to them, and now they get to make 2 more seasons where hopefully they can fix some of those issues, like you said. But yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna see. I'm not really exactly sure what my thoughts are on the first season. It exists. It could have looked better. It's weird. You can tell that like that concept works so much better in animation than it ever will in live action. I don't know if you saw like the clip of like Aang like rolling on like his air ball and then like slamming into a fucking wall or whatever. Um,
Yeah.
but it doesn't look nearly as good as it does when it was in the anime version, and I think that's just because in the anime version it feels a lot more. I don't know. If you like the air looks better, all of it like it's something that you can only do in animation. That gets really pulled off. So I am actually kind of excited to see, what they could change and maybe fix visually. But we'll see. I don't have too high of hopes for it. Hopefully it's better than the first season. That's all I really can ask. Um, and then the final set of movie news is the Tron Ares suit got revealed. I want to say it's just a villain suit if I'm not wrong. Am I?
I think it might be not the villain suit. I think it might be Jared Leto's suit. I could
Okay,
be
the
wrong,
way
but
it's saying it on it
Ares.
says villainous red suit. That's why. Okay, on this article.
Uh,
It might be
yeah.
a
So
villain suit. It looks
they
fucking
did
sick
actually.
though.
It does. I saw it. I was like, oh my god! Like this actually looks kind of
Yeah,
cool.
I'll throw an image up of it on screen right now if I remember. Sorry to sorry to the audio listeners. Just look it up.
That's tough crap. You gotta look it up. That's
Yeah,
it. But like one of the things that, so I know people are like obviously saying, oh, Jared Leto and things like that, but I just think that like if you don't like Jared Leto, watch it for the other cast members.
yeah,
You know, I think
yeah.
it's wrong to just try and single out a project because it's got someone that you don't prefer
Like,
as an
yeah.
actor.
I don't like Jared Leto either. He's a weirdo. He's a bad dude. But
Yeah. But then when you look at the other cast members that are there, you can just watch it for them.
yeah, watch it for them. Exactly.
Like and watch it for the writers, watch it for the people who actually try to get movies made. And with respect to Jared Leto, he did champion to get this film made for like a decade since it was announced. Like he
Yeah,
was
that's a fair
basically
point.
rushing to do it. So I think that for the sake of that,
I
I
think
do
Jared
I do have to
Leto,
give respect.
the guy
I
has a
do have to
lot of
respect him for
respect
that.
for movies. I'll give him that. Like, even though he doesn't play the
Yeah,
best roles, I do think he genuinely does have a respect for movies.
yeah.
Um, so it is good that he pressured the what's it called? Oh my god, I'm fucking blanking.
The studio, yeah, Disney to
The
get some.
studios
Yeah,
to produce it. I do think that's a really good thing. Um, even if I don't
I,
personally like the guy, I can still acknowledge that that's a very cool thing that he did.
yeah. Like so, there's two things I actually want to cover with Ares because there's some like this. One is a concern, and the other one's like a general thing.
Okay.
So obviously the first thing apparently, so what the first details are is basically it's going to be Ares who goes into the real world. So obviously he is in Ares is we don't know if like he's an ISO or like one of the like the programs. That's the one I was
Yeah.
looking for. So but basically the story is apparently that he travels out of the grid into the real world and he like interacts with artificial intelligence and humans. And I think actually that's quite an interesting idea. If that kind of spins the Tron formula, because in the Tron movies, it's the people going into the programs and interacting with the programs.
Yeah.
So to spin it on its head and make the programs interact with the real world, I think you've got a chance to do some interesting things.
Agreed.
I think that you've got a good chance to have. I think you've got an interesting opportunity to commentate on artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
100%. I think you've got a chance to commentate on that and how artificial intelligence kind of revolves around human life.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that I actually like, and I have a little bit of hope for this film because the guy who's directing it, Joaquin Ronning, I believe that's how you pronounce his name. He actually watched the Legacy film with Joseph Kosinski, so he watched that, and I think that kind of gives me a little bit of hope. That it's not a director that they picked that knows nothing about the first Tron film or Tron Legacy. They've gotten someone who's watched it with the director themselves.
Yeah.
So that kind of, but now the concerns I have. So on the second point is one, obviously Daft Punk. Are they going to get Daft Punk as like the independent artist now? Because obviously Daft Punk broke up a couple years ago.
I remember this. This was big sad.
And yeah, which is still was great loss. And I know that like they release some singles every now and again. But obviously they're not really a joint composer group. So are they going to get them as like their independent names? Like they're going to get like Guy and Thomas back, or are they going to go for a new composer that can kind of mix electronic with music? And
I would say give it a shot with a new guy.
Yeah, and I think if they're going to get a new guy, there's a few that I think could be really good choices, and I'm going to list three or four of them right now, and one of them sounds a bit bold, but I think they could actually pull it off.
Okay.
So
Let me hear
The
it.
first guy who I'm good. So the first guy who I think they could go for is Bear McCreary,
Okay.
because Bear McCreary works a lot with electronics. He works a lot with orchestra,
Yeah.
and he works a lot on sci-fi projects. And he's just done a Halo series as well. So
Mhm.
he's not new to like sci-fi. I think he could do something. The second one, um, is I was going to say Mick Gordon,
Oh, okay.
because he works a lot with like synthesizers, and I think with his kind of, because he likes to use a lot of odd sounds and put into music. Like, I mean, for God's sake, for one of the songs in Doom, he literally used a chainsaw as an instrument,
Yeah, I mean,
and
I love those. I love that type of shit.
like he used a chainsaw as a freaking instrument in a game. So I don't think he's a stranger to trying to add something different to it. The third one, um this one was going to be more of like a combo, um or like at least try and get like someone's done it. And I was going to say Trent Reznor from Nine Inch Nails,
All right.
because if but he's done like some work on a lot of more different projects. And you know like, for example, Trent Reznor assisted with the soundtrack of Black Ops 2.
Yeah.
So I feel like he could, you could try and do something with that. I think whoever you get as a composer, I think you need a composer that can find middle ground between like using really odd instruments and then using
More
synthesizers,
standard stuff. Yeah.
because that perfectly is what Tron is. Because Tron, the whole Tron franchise is odd things collaborating with the real world.
Yeah.
You know,
Definitely.
And so I think you need to get a composer that can kind of produce that, yeah, as a soundtrack. So I think there's definitely a few people you could
Fine for it.
you could find for it. But I think whoever is, I was actually going to say that was it. The other one, Natalie, is, I think, yeah, it might be Natalie Holt, who done the Loki soundtrack, was going to be one of my picks.
That Loki soundtrack is so good.
And there was one of the songs where it's I think it's like Lamentis 2055 or something, but it's like the sips on there, the dun dun dun
Oh, okay.
dun dun, dun.
Yeah.
And like it felt very Tronish to me when I was listening to that. I felt like this kind of sounds like something you'd hear when you have like the like Clue or something coming in with like his army.
Yeah, I think it could be really good. I think all those are very good picks. I will
Yeah,
say that. But yeah, I think
yeah.
what I would do personally is I would go in a different direction from where it normally has been.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
You,
Like I wouldn't
you have
use
like
Daft Punk. I would
composers.
use a different person or group, I should
Mm.
say, if you want to go with a group. But not it doesn't have to
You-
always. It doesn't always have to be Daft Punk.
Yeah, no, of course. Is there any composers like maybe that you would like to think of? Maybe like you got any ideas for composers?
Honestly, I'm not too familiar with most composers. I wish I could give some insight. Um, but I can't. Oh, hello, dog.
Mm.
My dog found a way into my room.
I mean,
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with most.
mm. If they really wanted to do like more digital side of things, they could try and get some video game composers to give it a try.
True, video game composers are really good.
Like
For that
Sarah
type of stuff.
Snatcher, who done Modern Warfare 1, 2, and the Prey film. Get
Oh,
her.
okay. Yeah,
I think she. I think
you have a lot of
that's a
options.
yeah. Like I feel like it would actually be smart to go with a video game composer, because I feel like that kind of leans into
Tron feels video
yeah,
gamey. Yeah,
yeah. Like I've always said this: Disney absolutely needs to make a Tron VR game.
that would be fun.
Like get where you can make your own suit, but like make it like a open world like multiplayer one, so you can interact with other people, do like the disc wars, the light cycle battles, or stuff
Yeah,
like that. Like that would be a really fun title to have.
I agree, 100%.
And
That'd
people
be
have
very
started
good.
doing like Tron ports in VR. So like in VR chat, you can actually now do the light cycle battles.
Wait, really?
Yeah, they've
Oh,
done
that's
they've
sick
done it
as
on
fuck.
VR chat.
Actually, that's really
So
cool.
they've done the light cycle battles, and they've done the disc wars.
That's really cool. Actually, that's really
And
fucking cool. I
I'm
did
like,
not know that.
where is this? I was like, where is this in a AAA like premium studio title? Like, why are we not getting this? The closest thing we've had is the I don't know if you ever saw the game Echo Arena.
Yeah, I fucking love that
I was
game.
like,
Echo VR or whatever.
yeah, and I feel like when they did like the spin off like Arena in Combat, I thought that's the closest thing we've ever gotten.
Yeah.
obviously
Dude,
it's a shame because they shut down the
I was gonna
servers.
say R.I.P. to Echo VR because that game was so
Oh,
fun. Me and my friends used to play
it was so fun.
the like the disc version where like
Yeah,
you
it was
just chuck
it
that
was
shit
so
at the goal. It was so fun.
it was so and like you used to, like I think it was like more fun because you could do like more like funny things. For instance, like you could like hold on to each other when you're blasting through
Yeah,
the
and just
sky.
fly through. Yeah,
Yeah.
always gotta
Um,
join up and just absolutely catapult yourselves.
it was just like it was just so like fun. I think it's and that obviously at the time that's the closest thing we got. But I really like I think with Disney, obviously, Disney's now stepping back into a lot of more premium games. For example, they revealed the remake of Epic Mickey coming out
Yep.
on
Oh, that
Nintendo
looks
Switch.
so good too.
That looks amazing. I was like,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. And they've done a $2 billion deal with Fortnite and Epic Games.
What?
Yes, did you not see this?
No.
So Disney invested $2.5 billion into Epic Games and Fortnite, and are now bringing all their IPs onto the Fortnite like servers. So basically now,
Oh, 1.5, not 2.5. Okay.
oh, okay, I was close. I
That's
was
still
1 billion.
fucking crazy. Holy shit.
So they spent that much, and basically what they're doing now is they're going to bring all their IPs. So like for example, like one of the things that they're exploring right now is making like a Disney world. So like as your Fortnite character, you can explore. So you can go to Tron, you can go to Frozen, you can go to Star Wars, you can go to Marvel, you can visit the Disney cruise, all on the Fortnite game.
God damn.
And
I mean, that's sick as fuck.
I mean, it's a big like deal to do. But basically, so now all like these different Disney films and projects, you're going to be able to visit on like the Fortnite game, as like on like the Fortnite hub.
That's awesome. That's crazy, but
And
that's
so,
really cool.
and I think if they was to do it, if there was like an interest around the Tron area, I think it wouldn't be wrong to say that maybe Disney could turn around and go
You
like,
could
okay,
see
maybe we
it
can
in
try.
Fortnite. I think you could see
Yeah,
a mode
like
of that in like Fortnite.
yeah, and I think it's more exciting because I think I like it more because obviously with the engine that you can do, I think you got a chance to do some really interesting things visually as well.
Yeah, 100%. I think
Like,
like
you can. It's a lot of visual.
here's the thing. Fortnite is such like look. I used to be one of the people that hates Fortnite. I still don't play the battle royale version, but there's no denying that game is so fucking good for first of all bringing communities together. Second of
Yeah,
all, obviously massively influential, and it is just objectively probably like the only game that I can think of that you can do whatever the fuck you want. And if you want to play like a survival style game, you have the like Lego Fortnite thing.
Lego Bangs. I'm just gonna say it. The Lego Fortnite is so good. I've
Yeah,
been playing it religiously.
that's really good. If you want to play fucking like Rock Band, you have that
Yeah.
as an option. You want to play a battle royale, you have that as an option. It's the only game where I can think they're hitting like almost all genres that they can like realistically hit.
I mean, you can play Rocket League now.
Yeah, they have Rocket League. I like it's crazy. It's insane. They have sports. They have survival.
Yeah.
They have fucking. They have music. They have shooters. It's awesome. It's
Yeah.
crazy. There's no denying that. And I do think like if you're Disney, I'd be like, yeah, if I'm gonna have a studio incorporate Tron, like if I'm not making my own Tron game, but I want to have a studio incorporate it, I'm going to Epic and being like, put it in Fortnite. We'll pay you X.
Yeah.
And like it worked in Fortnite.
And I think what's cool about is you got Tron Legacy skins that they do in Fortnite. Like there's, but I think not even that, but I think it actually as a medium. So obviously, although a lot of people clown Fortnite for it, they obviously done a comedy night in-game comedy night. So they've pre-recorded comedians performing jokes, and then they put them into the game that people would watch as
That's cool. A comedy
night,
show,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, no respect, I wasn't aware of many of these comedians, but I'm probably going to give them a look at and just see like what their style of comedy is.
Yeah.
But like, I think you also now have the opportunity for like, they've dabbled in concerts, right? They've dabbled in a few like movies, like for example, they showed a few of Christopher Nolan's films on the thing, so they've done like Prestige and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I think you have an interesting opportunity now to do like a really interesting in-game events to promote films, like even more. Like, or hell, you could even do a movie premiere in the game.
Yeah.
So like people can't watch the red carpet or people can't go to that. They can log into this game. Hell, maybe for example, I don't know, maybe they pay a bit of money. They might
like
pay
$10,
might
like
not,
let's
right?
say $20 if you want to watch the live premiere of it, like the first ever watch.
Yeah, and you watch it live with all these other people. Like you have this chance to breach a new medium, and this is one thing. So I look right. I'll hate Fortnite for making for making the dab popular and the floss. Right?
I have no idea what you're talking about, Optical. I don't know what you're talking about.
Anyway, thanks for watching Two Nerds One Cast. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. But like,
I just hit the greatest
thanks for
floss ever.
thanks for watching Two Nerds One Cast.
Thanks for watching. That's it.
But like, I feel like you have a really good opportunity to breach this medium now. You know, if you're getting all these studios come in, like for God's sake, like for example, let's say, you know, new Moana film coming out, right? That's coming out, right? You could build like this Moana set and put Moana 2 on this screen. So like when like, you know, for example, when some things are happening, maybe in the game, you could have like the water going past the character's screen. Like you could build this new level of interactivity for movie premieres.
Yeah.
And I think that's such a cool thing to do. You know, Fortnite is showing it's not afraid to branch out to more like mature audiences as well. You know, they're allowing a lot more mature horror games. They're allowing, you know, some things going on with UEFN. I mean, for God's sake, you can play COD Zombies on Fortnite now.
Hell yeah, we love that. That's crazy. And the Fortnite creative group is insane.
And this is what I'm saying. Like Fortnite, you can criticize them for like the modes, but it's never going to die because they're always going to pull something out out of the hat.
They innovate. They're a constant innovator in the scene.
Yeah, and I think like them doing this thing, Disney is one of probably the biggest. Like I don't think anyone had on their bingo card Disney doing a $1.5 billion deal to bring their IPs to a game platform.
To a video game, yeah.
So it's like, and it's not even a video game anymore. Like I would argue Fortnite's become like this hub, if anything. Yeah. Like what started out as like from.
It was a battle. It was started out as a zombie shooter actually, with Fortnite Save the World, and then it became a battle royale, and now it's just everything. Yeah.
Yeah, it's everything. So, you know, I think that. I mean, I'll say hats off to Fortnite for that. Like generally, I don't think a lot of studios have had the guts to say we're going to shift away from it just being just a battle royale, and now we're going to make it like
a lot of studios just stick with what works. Now, Fortnite keeps like Epic keeps going into new domains and like, you know, conquering them, and it's really
like cool. I was having this talk with a friend, right? It's like, and the reason why Fortnite is never going to die is one, and this is his words, right? And he said like Fortnite really has you in a chokehold because if the game ever dies out, they just pull out the OG map and then everyone jumps back on.
True. Yeah.
Right. Like if the game ever loses popularity, all they've got to do is go, all right, back OG map, here you go, done. And I don't think they even anticipated for it to be that big because I mean, 4.5 million players in one day is like
people came flooding back.
Yeah, people flooded in, and so I think anytime Fortnite's low on view, they're going to bring back something that's something that resonates with OG fans, bring them all back, and then they go, oh, now we're now doing this, and
or they'll introduce a new mode.
Yeah, they'll introduce a new mode, like when people were getting bored of the build, they brought in zero builds. That really revived it.
For that. That's the only mode I ever play. Whenever I play Fortnite, I only play zero build.
Yeah, because nowadays you shoot someone, they build a 5-star hotel.
Exactly, it's not
like. And I'm like, I can't be that fast.
Yeah,
it's like,
I'm looking forward to this shit though. That's really cool. I actually wasn't aware of that deal, so that's actually awesome.
Yeah.
And I agree. So I think it could 100% change that whole dynamic of like Fortnite could be its own.
It basically just could be its own immersive experience.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was trying to say, and its own experience to like. Do whatever, really. I mean, they just have so much that they can do. Epic just keeps growing more and more, and it's just insane. So massive shout out to them. That's awesome. But yeah, let's talk about some more stuff. I want to probably head out within like 30 minutes, so let's jump into this shit. We have plenty of time. That's 30 minutes. But I don't. Let's move through this. Complexity, very popular esports org. I'm sure we're all aware of them. They were recently bought back by their original founder, which is really fucking cool. For 10.6 million, which honestly, a lot less than I would have expected. For one of the biggest esports orgs, but at the same time, I think people now are realizing esports is in kind of like a bubble. Where it's just not profitable. So they're selling it for whatever they can get it for. And I say this as an esports owner. It's not profitable at all. I just do it because I like it. But Complexity got bought back from its OG founder. For anyone that isn't familiar with them, Complexity was like one of the biggest orgs in Call of Duty back during the CWL era. That's where like they built their name, and now they have teams all like in a bunch of different esports, where that's like CS. I want to say, let me double check. I don't want to get this wrong. But I know they have it in CS, Rocket League, Halo. They've been in a lot of esports they've competed, and they also have some major streamers. The most notable of which being Tim the Tatman. So really freaking cool. That Complexity is now back with its OG owner. Hopefully they can get on the going back on the right track. I want to say Game Square was the same group that owned FaZe, which now is also back with its original owner in Banks. So, really cool. For both of those. Obviously, I didn't write about the whole FaZe thing, but yeah, obviously FaZe is back with Banks. Hopefully he can revive it. I'm never that confident because he's the same person who sold it. But I'm hoping that he can bring that back as well. But yeah, I don't think we have to go super in depth with Complexity, but it's just something that was really cool in the realm of esports news. And honestly, whenever there's a good development in esports, that's a big positive, and this is very good in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I mean, obviously the deal was like, you know, it definitely shocked me when I saw that first. I was like, wow, I did not expect CEO to actually roll in and be like,
I'm buying it back, and only for 10 million.
yeah.
I was really surprised by how cheap it was.
And so quickly, one topic, like obviously, like esports organizations, Banks now owns FaZe Clan again.
Yeah, that's all I was saying. Yeah, Banks bought back FaZe, or did he buy it back? I don't know what happened actually.
So basically, what had happened is they. It's not exactly they bought it back, but basically, they obviously were not really happy with what was going on with like the current like leads of like the investors. Because obviously, FaZe really shifted from an esports team to basically just
Content,
merchandising,
shit, yeah.
and it wasn't even content. I'd say it was more focused on like branding and merchandise and
True.
Lifestyle. It became lifestyle,
A lifestyle
more than
brand,
what it became. Yeah, lifestyle brand. And obviously, I will always criticize it. I'm like, really, like you're basically asking to kill your own organization if you're shifting away from what made you popular and just selling shirts.
Yeah, no, it's such a heavy
and making
shift
videos.
too.
And I think it went in. Obviously, then we had like the issues about the gambling thing. There was a lot going with like gambling, wasn't there, on the side of things?
Yeah.
Obviously there was a lot that led up to what. I mean, they got cooked online basically, and I think from what I can understand is basically someone else offered to buy it back and then make the original team the leads. Is from what I can understand. So like this other organization said that, hey, basically like they said, hey, look, we'll buy it instead. And then basically they made Banks the lead of it again, from what I can understand. And that's when like he turned off like all the tweets and then said, I got the
passwords back. Yeah, I saw that one.
And I mean, I think he did. Apparently, though, I think he dropped FaZe Testy. I think because Testy was obviously quite a popular sniper on the. I think his name was Testy or something like that.
Yeah.
But obviously he was announced that he got dropped this week, which a lot of people were like, well, why is he? Why is Banks fired you? But I think what Banks is going to try and do now is he's not going to try and make it so much like massive in terms of like the people that are actually hired. I think he's going to I think he's going to downsize it again.
Yeah.
And try and like go from there, which on one aspect I do think is smart because it's more massive in terms of the clothing and the content, in terms of the creators that are involved. And I think if obviously I feel bad for the creators, no doubt, but I do think that
gets cut, it sucks always.
Yeah, but I do think the old leads of Fate had too many cooks in the kitchen.
Oh yeah, definitely. There was just way too much going on with it.
Yeah, and even like Banks has said that on his content, and even a lot of like Facebook people said that it just there was too much going on with it.
Yeah.
But one thing I will say is, obviously I do think that they're going to definitely be changing the way that things are handled. I wouldn't even be surprised if at some point they pull out Atlanta FaZe and start
if I'm not mistaken, Atlanta FaZe is owned by Atlanta Esports. It just has the FaZe name attached to it because of a deal they have. FaZe doesn't actually own Atlanta FaZe, which is a really interesting fact.
Yeah, I think it's like
It's owned
FaZe
by,
is
I
kind of
want
like
to say
almost
it's
like a
Atlanta
co-invest.
Esports or whatever. Yeah.
But it's like under like the FaZe merchandise, isn't it? But like, I would not be surprised if FaZe then announced like after that thing's done, they pull out and they're going to try something else in the Call of Duty space.
Oh, maybe. I
Like,
don't think the CDL is going to be around after this year. I've heard
no, I think
rumblings. I've heard
it's
rumblings.
going to be dissolved.
Yeah, it's going to be gone. I've heard rumblings before the season even started that this was its final year. I'm friends with, obviously. I'm not gonna. Well, I can't. Well, I think this is just well known. But given that I operate in challengers and we're partnered with a top challengers org at Acrylic, we kind of have connections not only to challengers but also to pros and like owners and managers and all that shit. And the general consensus I've gotten from everyone is that this is the like final year, like pretty much 100% final year of the CDL. Before it goes into something different. The assumption is it's going to look more like the CWL.
Perfect.
Which is really cool. So very cool.
I will always criticize them for going to franchising for like, and it made no sense to me because they done it for Call of Duty, but then they never done it for Overwatch.
Was
Overwatch
the
never got really
Overwatch League
franchised
not
teams.
franchised?
Not really, no, not to like to the extent of what Call of Duty it is.
Yeah.
Like the franchising is a lot more.
I know both are shut. Well, Overwatch League already had Shutdown.
But I think like, you know, I do feel like this may be because I think this is a move by Microsoft more than it is by Activision. I will say that because obviously, you know, Halo, their teams aren't franchised with the Halo Championship.
Yeah,
their teams aren't really franchised.
That's true. Yeah, that's how it should be.
And that's how it should be. I think it's really. I don't even think it's just
should be the pro.
I think it's punishing. Yeah, and I think like it's really punishing to like people trying to make it into competitive space as well.
Oh
because
yeah, definitely.
Basically, with franchising, those people like the unknown players are never going to make it.
Yeah, I mean, if you look back at the CWL era, like you would see the top challengers teams or whatever they called it back then. I want to say it was still called the Challengers Division. If they won like challengers, they'd auto qualify for champs, like CDL champs, to compete.
Yeah.
And sometimes you'd actually see major upsets of a challengers org upsetting like a big dog. I don't think FaZe ever got upset by one, but I know there were some major orgs that were like that got beat. By these like challengers organizations. And you'll never see that happen in the CDL because they just won't allow it. You will see like challengers players compete with CDL players, but those are only in scrims. But yeah, I mean, it's just a really cool thing. So hopefully that's what happens. But yeah, I agree. I think FaZe is probably. I don't think the CDL is going to exist after this year, so I don't think FaZe is necessarily going to pull out. But I do think when the new COD League rolls around, whatever it may be, they're going to be the first, like one of the first orgs in it.
And I think they're gonna really. I think there's gonna be some shock like switch arounds on like Rostermania.
Oh, probably 100%.
Like there's I think there's gonna be some drops that are gonna shock people in this this time around.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, FaZe Complexity back with their OG owners, very cool. And speaking of OG, Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2, the originals from like 2002 and 2005 or whatever. They're re-releasing on March 14th on PS5, Xbox, like the new Xbox Series X and S's, and obviously PC again, with new characters, maps, and this hasn't been confirmed, but hopefully some remastered graphics. I can't imagine you're just like re-releasing it with only new characters and all that shit. I don't know for sure. But I'm looking forward to it regardless. Battlefront 2 is my favorite Star Wars game ever. I played the shit out of that religiously for like a decade. So cannot wait for that to be re-released. I'm just gonna be very fun.
I'm probably gonna cause upset and say that I've never played a Battlefront game.
I don't really blame you. I don't think most of my friends haven't. But it's a really good series. You should definitely check it out. The campaign was really good. Although some like the Jedi Temple raid is a pain in the ass. I've always struggled with that one. Because you're a clone and you're getting or actually I think you start off as Anakin. And that's just a pain in the ass. But it's a really fun game. You should definitely play it.
Yeah, I probably will if it was getting all like remastered and stuff, to be honest.
Yeah. So, that's a really brief thing I want to talk about, but I'm actually really excited for that. And then the final actual topic for this show, today,
Yeah.
the famous Crash Bandicoot developers, Toys for Bob, they left Activision. They've gone indie, um, which is actually really fucking cool. I know me and
Yeah.
Optical, you and I were talking about this, man. Um, like before the show, extremely cool that Crash is now gonna, or like the developers for Crash are going off on their own. They've dealt with Activision's bullshit for probably way too long. I don't blame them.
Yeah.
I'd leave too after a certain point. Especially with Activision constantly wanting remasters of older games. I imagine they didn't want to do that anymore. So I'm actually really happy they've gone independent.
Yeah.
Obviously this news
It,
isn't like brand new, but we wanted to talk about it.
yeah, and I think it does open up like a massive door of opportunities for them as developers as well, because they're looking to explore a partnership with Microsoft, which I do think Microsoft will probably say yes to be honest, because you know I think it opens up the chance for them to make sequels, actual dedicated sequels to games. So, like
Yeah.
for example, we could be getting Spyro. We could get Spyro 4.
God, I
We
want
absolutely could get
Spyro.
Spyro
I
4.
want another Spyro game.
You know,
That'd be so
but
fun.
we could absolutely get that. We could get a proper sequel to Crash as well. Like not any like this whole zero interference or like them like they could they could make a Crash game with zero microtransactions if they wanted to.
True.
And to be fair, they went out with a bang in Crash Team Racing because they made the Battle Pass free.
Oh, beautiful.
So they made the Battle Pass free, and you was able to get items from previous seasons as well.
Nice. That's hype. See, that's
So
really nice.
that's it. I think that's also a great middle finger to Activision. Like it's
Yeah,
basically
you're not
like,
getting
yes,
money
we
off of
made
us,
this game for you.
bitch.
Yeah, it's like we made this game for you, but now we're actually gonna just go now.
Yeah, we're
Oh,
out of
also,
here.
it's like oh, we're out here. Oh, also we made the game free basically now. Once you buy it, we made everything free. So bye.
Yeah, so don't worry about microtransactions. I
Mm.
greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, I think it's a good final send off to go to.
Yeah, I
You know,
agree. I think it's just really cool. I'm
yeah,
excited.
I do hope they get the partnership. I hope
Yeah,
they get the partnership.
I'm excited for whatever happens with them. If they want to develop their own indie things just without a partnership, just go on their own. I think
Yeah,
that's also completely fair.
yeah,
But yeah, I found that really cool. This isn't news at all. This is just a funny video.
yeah.
That I wanted to show to end it. I'm gonna throw it up on screen. Audio listeners, love you to death. You guys won't know. But it was it was like this fucking like Asian shop selling knockoffs of like Jordans
Yeah.
and shit, and they
For
had
you
a
next
dude.
one.
Where, hold on, hopefully here actually I don't know if I can
Yeah.
share it on Discord because the share screen will fuck with the layout.
I
Whatever.
got it up here, the clip here.
Huh?
I got the clip here
Okay, you have it up
the
as well. It's so
yeah.
funny. It's so fucking good. Actually, I might be able to pull up the Twitch overlay so that way we can view it together if we want. Yeah, let me go do that actually really quick. Hold up. We're gonna do this. Let me pull it up.
It's so bad yet so funny.
It's so good, man. It's so good. Let me just pull
I-
this shit up. All
Did
right.
you watch? You know who photoshops people as like different ethnicities?
Yeah, the Velo
Yeah.
Predator guy. Yeah.
Yeah, he goes and then someone's and he just does a photo of him just staring there because it's like them both.
It's good, dude. I mean, it's like
Oh,
let's look at this shit together, chat.
It's peak marketing.
It's so dumb. It's actually so fucking stupid. It's so very clearly a guy wearing a mask of a black dude. It's so funny. I'm gonna turn up the audio actually for it real quick. It's so good, man.
C54. Just follow me. Let me share for you next one. Thank you, everyone. Stay tuned with me. Okay, honey. If you like it, you can
It's
take
so fucking
screenshots.
stupid.
They are very good
Just the
quality and
beard's
very
just
low
like,
price.
yo,
Thank you,
yeah,
everyone.
look at
Stay
these
tuned with me.
shoes.
Thank you, my honey. Okay, 54.
Yeah,
Very,
look at
very
that.
cool.
Ooh, fire.
Honey, are you already
Yeah,
follow
thumbs
my
up.
brother Kenya? Are you already follow me?
So fucking stupid. I love it so much. It's the dumbest video. I think it's so stupid. It's so comically dumb. But yeah, I greatly appreciate it. That made my day when that came across my timeline a few days ago. It's so good. It's so good.
It's a bold marketing move.
It's so bold.
Like I just feel like And it's like not even that, but like there's not even been much backlash. Everyone's just said like
It's funny.
what?
Yeah, everyone's just agreed that it's hilarious that they did it. There's no backlash towards it. It's just like that's really fucking funny.
Like everyone, like that's like the one thing that everyone's come together like as the world to be like, yeah,
This is funny. This is good.
yeah,
I wanted to end the show on a very funny note.
yeah.
But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Two Nerds One Cast podcast. It's been a great time. We're happy to be back. Optical, happy to have you back. New episodes every week. If there is like a change in schedule just because of like a vacation or something, you guys will let you know, especially on Twitter. So follow the Twitter. Link is down in the description. But yeah, thank you guys so much. Have a good one. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, everybody. Bye.
Peace out.